Welcome back, America. I'm Hugh Hewitt in Studio West today. As you know, I live in three places. I live in California, I live in the Beltway, and I live in Maine in the summertime. I'm a family freeloader up there in Maine. So I have like 6 senators, but the only one who's in my party is Senator Collins. Senator Susan Collins joins me now, and she has brought to my attention, I didn't know this. I did know that Maine only has one Diocese of Portland. And I did know that we got a priest problem because there are like four churches in my parish there, Senator Collins. But I didn't know about the R1 visa. Nice to have you. Thank you for joining me. Tell me about the Religious Workforce Protection Act.
Well, it's so nice to talk with you, Hugh. So there are 50 Catholic parishes in Maine. 35% or 35 of the 50, more than half, in other words, rely on foreign-born priests and other religious workers who are from overseas. And what we have found is that there's such a long backlog in the Department of Homeland Security and the Department of State that their 5-year temporary visas run out before they can get their permanent work visa. And that means that a priest, for example, has to return to his home country for a year before they can come back. Sometimes it's even longer. And let me emphasize, all these individuals are well vetted. They're here legally. This doesn't have anything to do with illegal immigration. And they're providing essential services. They're saying masses. They're visiting the sick, the elderly, the dying in our hospitals. They're acting as religious educators. They're absolutely essential to our parishes in Maine. And there are other religions as well who are experiencing similar shortages. So this applies across the board. And essentially, it says that if you're here on a temporary visa for religious workers and the Department of Homeland Security is slow in processing your permanent application, that you can stay and continue to do your very valuable work.
Senator Collins, when I'm in California, the same issue obtains. A lot of the priests in Southern California are from South Asia and the Philippines, and they're here on visas. And they do have to go home, and they move around a lot. And people kind of like their priests. They want them to stay. So I was unaware that they didn't get an automatic extension until your office told me about this. I hope this is a bipartisan bill. It ought to be a bipartisan bill.
It is a bipartisan bill, and it's carefully crafted. It's narrowly tailored to the problem that we just talked about. And so I'm hopeful that we can get it through. I know it would make a huge difference. It has the endorsement of the National Conference of Catholic Bishops. It has the endorsement of the Council of Evangelicals. Major Jewish groups have also endorsed it. And I think this can make a real difference. It used to be when I was growing up that we sent priests out to the world. Now it's the other way around because there's such a shortage.
Almost everywhere except Northern Virginia. Northern Virginia, Bishop Burbidge over in Arlington seems to turn out priests by the dozen. I'm sure, is it Bishop Ruggieri? I haven't met him yet, and so I haven't met the new Bishop of Portland. But Bishop Vann in Orange County, California, they do a good job, but it still takes a long time to make a priest, and there's quite a shortage. So I would think, especially you just mentioned the National Council of Evangelicals, my Protestant friends will say the same thing. They get pastors from all over the world. I can't believe we send people home who are in the work of the faith, whatever the faith tradition might be.
It is incredible, or sometimes they stay here, but they're not allowed to work, and that doesn't make any sense at all. But usually they're sent home, and I remember just last summer where I go to Mass in Lincoln and Howland, Maine, and there was a priest from India, Father Tony, whom we all love, and he got sent home to India. So it is a real problem, and the backlogs are what are causing the problem. So I think that this will really make a difference, and I hope that we can get it through. It is a bipartisan bill. The chief sponsor with me is Senator Tim Kaine, from a Democrat from Virginia.
So I want people to know it's called the Religious Workforce Protection Act. It concerns R1 visas, and you should be for it. And if you see a senator or congressman, tell them to sign on to Senator Collins' bill. While I have you, Senator, a quick question about the budget. Congratulations, you got it done. Now it's over at the House. I talked to Senator Houston earlier from another one of my home states, Ohio. I've got more home states than people do baseball clubs. But I would like to know, do you think the House will pass this?
I don't know. I'm seeing opposition from both sides. There's a lot of concern about how extensive the Medicaid cuts could be. We definitely need reforms to make sure that able-bodied adults can, there's a work requirement. But the cuts are really too deep in Medicaid. And then on the other side, there are some conservatives who feel that the cuts aren't deep enough and that the Senate should have gone further. So I think it's going to be a challenge, but then again, every single time that people have doubted the Speaker's ability to pass a bill, he's pulled it off.
And last question, Senator, if they pass this, and I'm hoping the president and everybody works hard on getting that done, what parts of reconciliation come through your committee? You are chair of appropriations, probably the most important chair in the Senate other than maybe, I won't argue about it. It's a very important chair. What comes from reconciliation through appropriations?
Ironically, the way reconciliation is done, it goes through the authorizing committees rather than the appropriations committee. So it deals with mandatory spending rather than the discretionary spending, which is under our jurisdiction.
Of course, it wouldn't make any sense to go. It's the United States Senate. I am never surprised when I learn a new thing about the United States Senate. That's my new one for the day. Senator Collins, thank you for joining us. The Religious Workforce Protection Act is a great idea, and I compliment for you. I hope it passes and passes quickly. Thank you, Senator.